So the whole process of being on the twin flame journey, wandering around, finding the true tool from Divine Mother, doing it, meeting the Christ Masters that I went into a mutual initiation with, that also accorded the tool that I got from Divine Mother, going to the true experience of full union with my true twin flame, and 3 months later, going into the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union, and then moving through the healing wave while also learning how to help you guys in mission, and then arriving today in this video. What in that whole movement that I did in this lifetime was the most difficult for me? So, for me, the most difficult was truly and deeply loving myself on all levels. In principle, in my soul, in truth, in relationship to God, in the body, in how I deal with my health and my beauty and my daily life and my money and my leisure and my work and my time and all of that. Both these aspects. And that is because of psychologically having had in this lifetime a mother that, well, did not love me, because narcissists can't love, although they can do many things with you, for you, but they are manipulations and not love, even though they sometimes look like it. And the most recent past life that I remembered somewhere during my journey was also with a mother that had done the same, that had shown me that how you do life is by manipulating men, by marrying yourself into money, by manipulating that man. And that's how you should do it too, daughter, was the message. There was no relationship because she had no relationship nor with herself, nor with her partner, nor with her child as a result as well. And that was documented in the past life in the 19th century, and also what I experienced in this lifetime. But all of that has been actually the result of this thing that was actually the most difficult for me. To make the choice as a magician, which actually means as a spiritually attuned human being, to be in alignment with God's miracles instead of the ego personality with its manipulations. And that choice was really what it was about. And after all, it came out that I could make that choice, and that choice would make me come out of the habit of not loving myself, and that choice would start to slowly but surely teach me what it meant to have true self-love. And I had to learn that from the ground up. And you can also see that because the last 5 years approximately was when I completely worked that out, and there's no return anymore, because I was healed when I went to Harmonious Twin Flame Union in March 2020. You can see that because ever since I have made 500 approximately videos on my YouTube, and there have only been 1-2 videos that I published and then took down. in this whole coming out of all these twin flame videos on my channel. And they had to do with that I did not love myself fully. The fact that I needed to pull them down because I misunderstood something still. I learn something still every day after having already been initiated as the twin flame teacher and already having been in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. I was still learning every day. And only at this one time, I made like 2 videos in the course of a couple days or something, you know. They needed to be taken down because that's where the mistake came out. I did that. Only time I did that. Because I can self-correct. And that's when it really started to sink in how it was so difficult for me to believe that I was lovable and truly loving myself. That issue came out and needed correction. And that's how it came out for me at that time. Right now, that's a couple of years ago, but there you go. I think they were 1 or 2 videos, max 3. I think 2. They were, I think, if I remember correctly, about that I had a false belief that I sort of needed to be in some sort of a fully organized personal life, having already the result of all these many lessons in self-love that I was in the course of learning before my twin flame would physically join me. And I think I said something to that effect in a certain video. At least one of them was about signs that happen right before you will reach union or something, and I just had like a mistake in my mind going round and round, and that needed to be taken out, and that happened. And then I took the video down because I didn't want to confuse you as well, you know. Very interesting happening, you know, when I look back, because that was really the result of how difficult it was for me to believe that I was truly loved. And I already had arrived in harmonious twin flame union, and everything was already said and done for me. And I still had that some sort of a mistake going on inside of myself, and I corrected. I was corrected by God. I was corrected by someone else. I corrected myself. I took it down. I took it in. I accepted the lesson and moved forward. It also had something to do with, I was in the course of, you know, loving myself and my life much better. And I was confusing that with when the twin flame comes to you, and that you should do that before the twin flame comes to be with you. I was confusing the two. And the fact that I confused that told me that this was the most difficult thing for me to really let sink in. It's not that I did it wrong, but it had not sunk in correctly. I still needed to do something about it. I still needed to be corrected in that. It had already happened for me. I already had experienced a full-blown romantic union with my true twin flame. I already had experienced his complete and utter selfless love towards me and his devotion. I already had experienced the going deeper moment, almost as a shock, of the harmonious twin flame union choice in my heart, in our heart, to accept it and go for it and let nothing ever come in the way anymore. I already did that. And then I went into the healing wave, and I took it on, and I started to love myself and all of that. And then still, there came this moment that I opened my mouth in a video and it was wrong. Because I still hadn't fully let sunken in that my twin flame had already fully loved me, and that was already true. And I had needed to do nothing for that, only be my naked full self, that was all. I didn't need to organize anything or love my forms already in very much deeper ways that I would later learn. That were also essential for me. But like for like the form of me, for like the healing wave of me, for like the augmentation of all of this of me. But in principle, that wasn't true. I was already completely loved by the true twin flame that already wanted to be with me, pure, naked, and not having anything. You don't need to have anything to have your twin flame. You just need to have that core self-love of the soul, of where you are in spirit, where you are in union, and then go to the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. And you don't need to have worked out all your self-love problems yet. You can do that while being together and then work that all out. And that's the normal order, and that will be for you as well. The fact that for me that took place a little bit in a different way doesn't really matter. That's just my particular quirky road. And of which it also cannot be said that we did not do it together, because we actually did it together. That's what the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union does. And then people might think, but Petra, what do you mean? Either you're together or not. Like, what do you mean, Petra? For God's sake. And that's because you're not in the consciousness state of harmonious twin flame union. That's why you don't understand. If you would be, you would understand. I guarantee you that. So, there you go. But I was also still working that out. That was my mistake. I was also mistaken about, like, I thought I would needed to be myself in a better way in form. But that was already not the case. But I was still, like, cleansing that error out of my brain, so-called, right? That's why I one day made 1 or 2, max 3 wrong videos. And after a week or so, I guess, took them down. Because that was the most difficult for me. And it also means that I chose to be in alignment with miracles as a magician, instead of with manipulation of the ego personality of black magicians. That has something to do with it. That was like the deep mission translation of that same self-love issue that needed to be reinforced at that time when I made that video and took it down. That it was not about the forms that black magicians love to see. The manipulations of, let's have a good enough home atmosphere, so I'm good enough for my twin flame to be with me, so he likes the form of it. And that's what black magicians do. That is, you're stressing the form, you're stressing the ego personality. You think you're not good enough. You think you're not already loved. And that's how that's all is related. And it also is related to the psychological story of having grown up with a narcissistic mother that forbade me to love myself in the past life that I remember most right now. And because it was the last one before this. And in this lifetime too. That's the psychological element of it. Yeah. So that was the most difficult for me. And yeah, I think we cleared it. Wow. And you know, you will also have something that is the most difficult for you. And you will make that choice inside your heart. And then go to harmonious consciousness, the harmonious union consciousness state. And then you might still, you know, in practice work that out. And that may be a tiny little bit with ups and downs, just like I did. And that will be okay, as long as you keep on learning that real lesson and learn to love yourself for real there, eventually, fully. You'll be okay. Let's work that out together. And I hope this helped.